And we're back for the second game of the doubleheader as the rain, the heavy stuff at least, has held off here in Greensboro. So we're ready to start the second game of our twin bill between the Aggies and the Spartans. The Spartans took the first game 10-2, and the Aggies will send out Sanaya Stinson, the freshman from Bethlehem, Georgia, in the circle. One of the many freshman pitchers on the staff for Patty Redens. And here's the lineup that she'll face from the UNCG Spartans. Delaney Cumby will lead off, play catcher. McKenna Mateus is in center field, batting second. Kaylee Willis is a DP. She'll hit third. Jordan Gottschalk, who hit a grand slam in the previous game, will bat clean up and play in left field. Jasmine Palmer also had a home run that game. 3-run shot in the first inning, will play second base and will bat fifth, followed by Blake Batten, the first baseman. Brooklyn Maxwell is hitting seventh, playing shortstop. Katie Stetler is in right field. She did not appear in the last game. She'll bat eighth in the lineup, and Mason Brown, the third baseman, will round out the lineup batting third. Defensive alignment for the Aggies. They have a much different lineup than what we saw in the first game. Eternal Fuller in left, McCauley in center, Deason right, and in the infield, Destiny Parker at third, Alex Estrada at second, Stephanie Williams at second, Kayla Taylor at first, Nikki Varela catching Sanaya Stinson. Stinson making her third start. She's 0-2, 7.45 ERA. She's given up 11 runs, 8 of them earned off 13 hits, walking 11, striking out 2 in 9 2/3 innings. Batters hitting .342 off the freshman right-hander. We're pleased to join us for this second game. Wasn't sure whether or not it was going to happen, but the rain, at least the heavy stuff, is held off here in Greensboro. It's actually no precipitation right now. Very little precipitation, I should say. Delaney Cumby will lead things off, and the first pitch to her misses low and inside for a ball. 1-0. Cumby, 3 for 14 this season with a home run and 6 RBI. Junior from Dunn, North Carolina, also con player for the Spartan team. Spartans now 2 of 4 for the year. The Aggies 0-6. As the pitch is taken low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Cumby. UNCG, the favorites in the Southern Conference. Got a strong program under Janelle Brenneman's watch. She closes in on a decade leading the UNCG Spartans. 2-0 the count to the leadoff batter, Delaney Cumby. The pitch. Ground ball to short. Estrada stops it on the backhand. Throws to first in time. Nice play for Alex Estrada, the freshman at shortstop. And there's the game's first out. That'll bring up McKenna Mateus. Mateus, another preseason All-SoCon candidate. Starting center fielder for UNCG, batting .333 on the year, 7 of 21 with 3 runs batted in. Scored a pair of runs in the first game against the Aggies. So Mateus will dig in as Stinson is ready. And time called at home plate. Stinson taking a little bit of time trying to sort things out with her catcher, Nikki Varela. And temperatures in the mid-40s here as Mateus watches the first pitch strike 0-1. We expected heavy rain. It hasn't quite come. It got a little bit heavy around the fourth inning of our first game. UNCG winning by the run rule 10-2 in 5 innings. 0-1 to Mateus. Low for a ball. Count even at 1-1. Mateus, the senior from Greenville, North Carolina, home of East Carolina University. Count even at 1-1 with 1 out, top of the first inning. As we're underway with our second game of the doubleheader. 1-1. Line drive off the glove of the shortstop Estrada and into left for a base hit. A hot shot by McKenna Mateus. 1 out base runner for the designated player, Kaylee Willis. Her parents with an assist on this broadcast. They're standing right behind me. We made quite a trade. They are standing inside the tent. As a result, I have a blanket from John and Arlene Willis. Certainly thank them for that. That was the only thing that was a little bit cold during that first game were the lower extremities, and Legs a little bit cold, only protected by a pair of navy blue slacks. And now there's the warmest blanket I've ever been under. Well, I am ready to go under the tent, bundled up, as we fight off the chilly temperatures this afternoon in Greensboro, thanks to John and Arlene Willis, as their daughter Kaylee fouls one off to open up the at-bat. 0-1 the count.
The ball came my way, sorry.
They made the trip from Virginia Beach in what will be her final year playing softball. Senior from Virginia Beach is Kaylee Willis. The runner at first is McKenna Mateus. No score, top of the first inning. 0-1 the count. And that's also foul on the first base side. Almost hitting the on-deck batter, Jordan Gontram. Gontram, a big part of the first game with that grand slam to give UNCG the margin they needed to run rule the Aggies in the first game in 5 innings. And a grand slam. Willis behind in the count, 0-2. 1 out, runner at first. She is McKenna Mateus. Stinson takes a look at the armband. She's set. 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss. There's a second out. Stinson has her first strikeout victim in Kaylee Willis. Going to bring up the cleanup batter in the lineup, Jordan Gontram. Doing what cleanup batters are supposed to do, hitting grand slams. She did just that in the 5th inning of our first game. She'll step in here. One of 2 Gontrams on the roster. Her younger sister Ashley is a sophomore on this Spartan team. Gontram will step in here. Pitch from Stinson. And this one's fisted towards left field. It falls in for a hit. Gontram picks up her 3rd hit of the day. Had 2 in the first game. Collects a single there to move Mateus over to second. And Jasmine Palmer, who also homered in the first game, will step up to the plate. Palmer batting .267 with that home run. Now has 5 RBI. Runners at first and second for the Spartans as they look to start the scoring early, just as they did in Game 1. 4 runs in that first inning, including a 3-run round tripper by Jasmine Palmer. Palmer, the redshirt senior from Asheville. After a quick circle visit between the catcher Varela and her pitcher Stinson, Palmer is ready to begin her at bat. Runners at first and second for the Spartans with 2 outs here in the top of the first of a scoreless game. Stinson, the tall right-hander, standing at 5'10", fires her first pitch, high and away for a ball, 1-0. As expected, these teams wearing their same jerseys from the first game. UNCG clad in all navy blue. Aggies in the gold tops with the navy blue pants and the gold socks. 1-0 the count to Palmer. The pitch. Ground ball to third. Scooped up by Parker, and she'll run to the bag at third to complete the out. Now the Spartans get nothing across here in this first inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on. We played half an inning. It's the Spartans nothing. The Aggies coming up to bat after this.
Shooting for a new career? Join the Grand Furniture team today. At Grand, we're looking for passionate winners to fill some key positions on our floor and in our warehouse and offices too. If you're a friendly, hardworking pro with your eye on the ball, don't pass up this grand opportunity. We offer competitive pay with full benefits. And since 1947, we've been your local
Thank you. Good luck to your daughter and the team today.
You know the next play. Get in the game and click on careers at grandfurniture.com.
You put everything you have into our trucks. So we do too. It's why every truck we rent undergoes a rigorous multi-point inspection. That's how we deliver confidence. Penske. With a fleet of over 300,000, we know trucks. We can spot faulty sensors from anywhere. We can predict when parts will fail and fix them before they do. We do it all, so you don't have to. That's how we deliver confidence. Penske.
Hannah Stiltner is the senior pitcher for UNCG. She draws the start in the circle this afternoon. She comes from Mebane, North Carolina. And she'll face the A&T lineup led by Jay Deese. And she takes the first pitch for a ball upstairs, 1-0. Stiltner making her second start, her third appearance, 0-2 this year. And in 6 1/3 innings, she's allowed 14 runs, all of them earned off 15 hits, walking 6, striking out 3, a 19.89 ERA, and a 4.84 average. Batters have against the senior right-hander. 1-0 on the way. He's in the dirt for a ball. 2-0. Last year, Stiltner made 4 starts, plus a relief appearance, a 5.86 ERA in 14 1/3 innings. Batters hitting .232 off of Stiltner last year. Starts off Jay Deese with a 2-0 count. Deese batting .308 for the year, 4 of 13. The 2-0 misses up high, ball 3, 3-0. And while they have a chat in the circle, we'll give you the rest of that A&T lineup. Jay Deese leading off, playing in right field. Stephanie Williams batting second, playing second base. Alex Estrada is the shortstop. She'll hit third, followed by the cleanup batter, the DP, Samantha Ramirez. Kayla Taylor's at first. She'll hit fifth. Nikki Varela is the catcher batting sixth. Destiny Parker is at third base hitting seventh. Eternal Fuller in left field batting eighth. And rounding out the lineup is Kendall McCauley in center field. Jay Deese with the hitter's count, 3 balls and no strikes, as the transfer from Lewisburg Community College steps back in at the plate. Stiltner's 3-0. And she takes all the way for a strike, does Deese, 3-1. No score, bottom of the first inning. After the Spartans had a couple of base runners on, just couldn't get them across in that first inning. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch to Deese. Ground ball foul as it was chipped towards the on-deck batter, Stephanie Williams. Well, much different look to the lineup in the second game of the Twin Bill for A&T. With Williams batting second. UNCG making just one change to their lineup as Hannah Kinzer exits for Katie Stetler. Jordan Gottram switches corner outfield positions. She's in left field for this second game. 3-1 on the way. Hitting towards Gottram's direction in the left field side. That is a foul ball. Very, very close to being extra bases. And just missed by about 1 or 2 feet. Well, instead it's strike 2. Back to a full count. 3-2 for Jay Deese. So after starting off with a 3-0 count, Stiltner has fought back to make it full 3-2. Deese, the leadoff batter in the bottom of the first. Scoreless game. Payoff pitch. Misses low and away, ball 4. So Jay Deese draws a leadoff walk. That's how things will begin for the Aggies here in the home half of the first. That'll bring up Stephanie Williams. Williams is 2 for 16 to start the year, batting .125 with 1 RBI. So Williams will get her first look at Stiltner here. That's Jay Deese, who is a threat to steal on the base paths. 3 of 4 in stolen bases is Deese. As Williams swings through the first pitch, 0-1. Outfield playing straight away on the righty-hitted Williams. Hannah Stiltner on the pitcher's plate for UNCG. Deese at first, 0-1. That misses outside, ball 1. Count even at 1-1. Second game of our doubleheader after UNCG took the first game 10-2 in 5 innings. 1-1 low for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Stephanie Williams. Runner at first is Jay Deese. Catcher Delaney Cumby has a quick chat with the home plate umpire. Stiltner getting the signs from the catcher Cumby. Now she's ready. 2-1. Line foul. 2-2. JD retreats back to first. Stephanie Williams at the plate with one out. Scoreless game, bottom of the first. Two and two the count. Pitch from Stiltner. Ground ball to second. Palmer. Maxwell. The first in time, double play. 4-6-3 on the double play. As Stephanie Williams grounds out to the twin killing, and just like that, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Well, that'll bring up Alex Estrada. With the bases empty and 2 outs, Estrada off to a nice start in her Division I career, batting .308, 4 of 13 with 3 runs batted in. First pitch to the Utah is outside for a ball, 1-0. Estrada from West Jordan, Utah. A long trek to play here in the Tar Heel State for North Carolina A&T. 1-0 from Stiltner. Misses away. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Estrada. No score, bottom of the first. Stiltner set. 2-0. Estrada shows bunt and pulls it back for ball 3. 3-0. Cloudy day here in Greensboro. Rain still very light here. One of the fans behind us pulls out an umbrella behind home plate. 3-0. And there's a strike, 3-1. I mentioned in the previous game, Morgan State was originally part of the festivities this weekend until COVID forced them to cancel their trip to Greensboro. They would have been playing UNCG tomorrow and A&T on Sunday. Instead, it's just these two teams for the next 2 days. 3-1. Outside, ball 4. So second walk issued by Stiltner. As Estrada's aboard with 2 outs. And Samantha Ramirez, who did not appear in the previous game, will step up to the plate. Ramirez is 2 for 10 with 2 runs batted in this season. Senior from Orange, California. Stiltner will have to work with a 2-out base runner after issuing her second walk. And throws the first pitch low for a ball, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Stiltner ready, and the pitch. Low for a ball, 2 balls, no strikes. Delaney Cumby will move out of her crouch and have another chat with her pitcher, Hannah Stiltner. After that quick chat, adjustment of the sleeves by Samantha Ramirez, who digs back in with a 2-0 count. A runner at first and 2 outs in a scoreless ball game, bottom of the first. Stiltner delivers a 2-0, hit in the air to center field, right at Mateus, and she makes the catch for the final out. So Stiltner works around a pair of walks. Aggies with no runs, no hits, leave one on. We've played an inning, no score between the Aggies and the Spartans here in Greensboro.
It's a calling that's kept us free. It's a place to belong. What's the calling? It's doing a job that makes a difference. Serving your community and your country. It's part-time service where the impact is full-time. What's your calling? Air Force Reserve.
The MEAC is embarking on a year-long celebration of its 50th anniversary under the banner of the theme, A Golden Past, A Glorious Future. The conference will open the year with a selection of the 50 greatest moments in MEAC history, and with a selection of all-time teams for each of the MEAC-sponsored sports, with Hall of Fame recognition and with historical fanfare to the student athletes, coaches, and administrators who have helped to mold the MEAC into the great conference that it is today. The year promises to rekindle the love fans have had for the MEAC for 5 decades. Yes, the past was golden for the MEAC, and the future promises to be glorious.
Blake Batten, Brooklyn Maxwell, Katie Stetler due up for the Spartans here in the second inning. Neither team able to get a run aboard during our first inning, so we remain scoreless. As Batten will dig in, Batten off to a nice start for the season, batting 5 of 11, and she grounds this one to the third baseman. Parker stops it, throws across the diamond, throw a little bit late, and Batten is safe with an infield single. Nice effort by Destiny Parker. Best she could do is knock it down. And Batten with the hustle runs it out for an infield single to lead off our second inning. Brooklyn Maxwell will dig in. Maxwell batting .412 for the year, 7 of 17. 2 runs batted in for the shortstop. Freshman from Virginia Beach.
Another cover. Right.
As Varela makes the slow walk to the circle. Now, a bit of a chat with the umpire. I'm not sure what the discussion could be unless there might be some issues. Well, the officials are going to talk things over. I don't know if they're going to try and say there might have been interference over at first base, but the umpires, as you can see, the rain falling, are going to have a discussion over the previous play. For now, Blake Batten with an infield single. And after that discussion, it will remain that way. The umpires talked it over. Blake Batten has a single to start our second inning. And Brooklyn Maxwell will now dig in. No score, top of the second. Stinson ready. First pitch. Up high, gets through the catcher Varela. Taking off for second is Batten. She'll get there without a throw. It's a wild pitch for Stinson, which was a common occurrence during the first game of our doubleheader. There were 4 wild pitches in the ball game by UNCG pitchers. Want to know the count to Maxwell with a runner at second. Nobody out. Scoreless game, top of the second. Here's the 1-0. And this is high and away. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Maxwell. Stinson gets the signs, fires the 2-0. Low and inside, ball 3. And Morella will hand the ball to her pitcher as they try to get on the same page. Maxwell's been spotted a 3-0 count in her first at bat of this second game. Maxwell went 2 for 3 with an RBI single in game 1. 3-0. There's a strike right down the middle. Maxwell takes all the way. 3-1. Green won the count with nobody out here in the top of the second. No score. Runner at second is Blake Batten. 3-1. Foul. So the count draws full to 3-2. The softball doubleheader, part of a very busy weekend for Aggie Athletics here in the Triad. Full count. Nobody out, and runner at second. Payoff pitch on the way. Hit down the right field line. It's going to drop in fair. That'll score a run as it's picked up by Deese in the outfield. Digging for third and getting there without a throw is Brooklyn Maxwell, as the throw is a little bit late. Almost got away. Maxwell could have gone all the way there. Instead, it's an RBI triple, and the Spartans strike first once again. It's 1-0. Maxwell with their second RBI of the day. First extra base hit of her career is a 3-bagger. First 7 base hits were singles. Katie Stetler will step up to the plate. Blake Batten scoring on the RBI triple. And a 1-0 UNCG lead. Did not see Stetler in the first game. Batting 1 for 9 this season is Stetler. This is her 5th start. The pitch. High and away for a ball, 1-0. Stetler, senior from Powhatan, Virginia. She was homeschooled. Now we'll have a meeting in the circle. Teresa Stevens making the circle visit. Try and settle down Sanaya Stinson, who's given up the game's first run off of that triple by Brooklyn Maxwell. A well-struck ball down the right field line. Opposite field hitting from Maxwell, the freshman. And after that chat, Nikki Varela with some last words of encouragement before she returns to the backstop. 1-0 the count. Runner at third is Brooklyn Maxwell after the RBI triple. 1-0 UNCG, top of the second inning. Stinson ready. Here's the 1-0. Outside for a ball, 2 balls, no strikes. Last year, Stetler batted .203 with 9 RBI. That's an RBI opportunity here with UNCG's second run 90 feet away. 2-0 from Stinson in the dirt. Varela just able to get a piece of it to prevent the advancement from third. But the count's now 3-0. So Stetler with the hitter's count, 3-0. As Stinson tries to work out of some trouble here in the top of the second inning. 3-0. And that's taken all the way for ball 4. Now, neither of those, well, all 4 of those pitches weren't close. 4-pitch walk issued to Katie Stetler. Now runners at the corners. And nobody out for Mason Brown. And just like the previous game, Mason Brown, the only left-handed hitter in the lineup for UNCG. So runners at the corners, nobody out. Mason Brown will dig in, batting .267 for the year, .415, with 1 run batted in. First pitch to Brown. That's low for a ball, 1-0. Brown batted .150 last season with 4 runs batted in. One 1-0 Spartan lead, top of the second, looking to put up a crooked number here. 1-0. There's a called strike on the outer half. Count even at 1-1. Take a look at the cloudy day here at the Aggie Softball Complex, located right next to Truist Stadium. Home of the track and football teams. 1-1. High and tight for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. Stetler at first. Maxwell across from her at third base. Spartans with a 1-0 lead in the top of the second and looking for more. But nobody out. 2-1 from Stinson. Fouled off. Count draws to 2-2. Two and two the count. And the pitch to Brown. Ground ball past the hole in the right side of the infield for a base hit. Walking in to score is Maxwell. An RBI single for Mason Brown has doubled the UNCG advantage to 2-0. Stetler moves over to second. A pair of runs for the Spartans here in inning number 2. Back to the top of the order for Delaney Cumby. So the Lady Cumby, who grounded out to short in her only at bat, will step up to the plate. Cumby batting .200 for the year, 3 of 15. Runners at first and second, nobody out. First offering from Stinson, outside for a ball, 1-0. Cumby, the junior, digs back in. 1-0 on the way. Ground ball softly towards short. Estrada, her only play is to first, and everyone's safe. Check that. She was able to tag the runner on the way there. So nice play by Estrada to get the tag. It was obstructed by one of the players on the field, so I was not able to see that tag. Nevertheless, a nice play there to at least get the lead runner. And the first out of the second inning. That's a fielder's choice, 5 unassisted. That allows Cumby to reach first, and McKenna Mateus will step up to the plate. Which takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Mateus 1 for 1 with a single. Her team up 2-0. Runners at first and second, but now 1 out. 1-0 to Mateus. Swings through the pitch, 1-1. Mateus with her team-leading 8th hit of the year in the first inning. Here's the 1-1 in the dirt. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Mateus. Cumby at first. Brown at second. Mateus at the plate with a 2-1 count and 1 out. Pitch from Stinson. Gets through the catcher. Runners advance as Varela will pick that one up. That might be a pass ball. Ball didn't hit the dirt, it appeared to me. It was one that Varela, I think, would rather have back. Advances the runners to scoring position, second and third, and a 3-1 count. It was ruled the ball, so I believe by that ruling it does become a wild pitch since it was outside of the strike zone. So it's a 3-1 count. Runners at second and third, one out. Stinson, after a clean first inning, now in some trouble here in the second, having given up 2 runs. And 2 more in scoring position for the Spartans here in the top of the second. 3-1 to Mateus. High ball 4. So Mateus draws a walk. And the Spartans load the bases for Kaylee Willis. Willis struck out in her only at bat. She's batting .333 for the year, 7 of 21. Home run and 3 RBI. Opportunity to pick up the Spartans' second grand slam of the day, and she's the player that can do it. With a team-high 7 home runs last year. First offering to Willis. That's hit the center. And he'll drop in for a hit. McCauley picks it up. 1 run will score. That's all the Spartans will get. Nope, that's a bad throw that goes to the catcher. As a second run will score as a result. Well, Brown scores on the single, and Cumbie able to score as well after a poor throw from center field. Goes all the way to the backstop. Kaylee Willis picks up an RBI, and it's now a 4-0 lead for UNCG. Now, Kaylee Willis with the RBI single to score Brown. And Willis advances to second after the error by the center fielder McCauley allows Cumbie to score from second. And it looks like we're going to see a new pitcher as Kiera Richards, who started the first game, will replace Sanaya Stinson. So Stinson's stint over after an inning and a third. That's Kiera Richards, who will appear for the second time today. After a rough go of it in her opening game, Richards departed after 2 1/3 innings, or rather 2 2/3 innings of the first game. She was responsible for 6 of the 10 runs UNCG scored in the opening game. And the Spartans with a 4-0 lead here. The threat will continue with 2 on in scoring position. And 1 out for Jordan Gontram, who hit a grand slam in the opening game. Gontram 1 for 1 with a single in this one. Make her 6 of 21 for the year. And Kaylee Willis driving in her 4th run of the season off of that single. She won't get credit for the second run scoring due to the throwing error by Kendall McCauley. So Richards into the ball game to replace Stinson. As the Aggies will look to try to salvage something out of this doubleheader. Richards hoping to settle down after a tough outing the first time out this afternoon. Jordan Gontram waiting her first pitch from Richards. Gontram struck out in her first at bat against Richards, then doubled to lead off the 3rd inning before Richards departed. Gontram, the 8th batter in this inning for UNCG. Barring something unusual, UNCG will bat around in this inning with just 1 out and runners at second and third. The pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1 the count. Willis at second, Matthias at third. And Jordan Gontram at the plate with 1 out and an 0-1 count. Richards, the second Aggie pitcher, now ready. Delivers her 0-1 in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Varela. Nice stop there to prevent advancement. Count draws to 1-1. Richards, the freshman from Brick, New Jersey. Trying to keep this a 4-0 game with the Spartans on top. 1-1 on the way. It's hit foul to the top of the fence behind home plate. Richards gets ahead of the batter 1-2. Willis at second, Matthias at third. 1-2 to count with 1 out. 4-0 Spartan lead, top of the second. Here's the 1-2. Outside, ball 2. Count even at 2-2. Jasmine Palmer on deck for the Spartans would be the 9th hitter of the inning for UNCG. Richards ready. The 2-2. Up high, ball 3. Count now full 3-2. Richards had an issue with the walks in that first game. Gave up 5 of those in 2 2/3 innings. In danger of doing that here against Jordan Gottram, the first batter she's faced. Payoff pitch. That's hit to right field. Backing up is Deese. Deese is able to make the catch. And coming in and tagging up from third to score is McKenna Mateus. So a sac fly for the second out, as Mateus scores on the sac fly to the right fielder Deese. Give the RBI to Jordan Gontram, her team high 10th. And it's 5-0 UNCG. Kaylee Willis moves over to third on the play as well. So now the Spartans are batted around as Jasmine Palmer will step up to the plate. Palmer hit into a fielder's choice to end the first inning in her only at bat. She homered off of Richards in the first game. First pitch from Richards, up high for a ball, 1-0. The count. Jasmine Palmer, Spartan second baseman. 1-0 on the way in the dirt. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Kaylee Willis at third. Spartans up 5-0. Still at bat here in the top of the second inning with 2 outs and a 2-0 count to Jasmine Palmer. To Palmer, low ball 3. Sometimes you wonder if certain things can get to a pitcher's head. And I'm sure that home run by Palmer is in the back of Richards' mind. She hasn't really gone close to the strike zone in any of these pitches. 3-0 the count. Pitch from Richards, low ball 4. So Palmer draws a 4-pitch walk. And Blake Batten, who led off this inning with a single, will step up to the plate. Blake Batten, 1 for 1 with that single and a run scored. Batting 6 of 12 this year and even .500. Runners at the corners, 2 outs for the Spartans in the top of the second, leading 5-0. Richards with a pitch to Batten. That's a called strike on the outer half, 0-1. Palmer at first, Willis across from her at third base. 0-1 the count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch in the dirt. Runner takes off. Here's the throw to second. In time. No, Jasmine Palmer took the chance. Instead, she's caught stealing 2-6 after the pitch in the dirt. And that'll end the inning for the Spartans, but the Spartans score 5 on 4 hits with an error. Leave one on. We've played an inning and a half. UNCG 5, Aggies nothing. Bottom half of the second inning coming up after this.
All along this bustling corridor, from Richmond to Williamsburg, to Hampton Roads, to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, one bank continues to make its presence felt and set the standard for serving its communities and local businesses, and for having the area's best bankers. One bank continues to enrich lives beyond banking. Town Bank, not just a community bank, your community's bank.
Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, success for our student athletes isn't just measured by wins and losses, points on the scoreboard, or individual stats. For nearly 50 years, it's also been measured by their performance in the classroom, in the community, and ultimately, graduation. Our student athletes aren't just playing to win a single game, they're playing to win at life. Because games end, but life keeps on going. The MEAC, educating student athletes for the game of life.
It's bow time. Tick, tick, boom. Like a powder keg in your mouth. Southbound, scratch made. Not in a microwave oven, but an oven. Biscuits baked 49 steps fluffy. Chicken marinated 12 hours bold. Iced tea steeped 12 minutes lazy as a porch swing. Now you're talking sweet, easy Southern style. Cause when it comes to down-home cooking, it's not our first rodeo. Feed the whole family with a big Bow Box Supremes meal. It's bow time.
Kayla Taylor will lead off the bottom of the second inning, and UNCG spotting Hannah Stiltner a 5-0 lead. Taylor, Varela, and Parker due up for the Aggies here in this home half of the second game of a doubleheader. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. Taylor 1 for 7 to start her season with an RBI. She did not appear in the first game. A 10-2 win for UNCG in 5 innings. Home plate umpire will dust off home plate and delay this at bat. As Taylor will step back in. Taylor, rushing from Sanford, North Carolina. Drawing the start at first base this afternoon in our second game. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball to short. Maxwell bobbles, throws to first. Not in time. So Taylor is safe. Bit of a tough play there after the initial bobble by Maxwell. And then Batten was off the back at first, so Taylor is aboard. Try and figure out the official scoring on that, as the umpires are going to have a discussion about this one. We'll all see counsel to see whether or not the player was pulled off the bag at first base, and Blake Batten, after the throw by Maxwell, the initial call was safe.
Yeah, no, I had to go get another.
So the umpires continue to talk it over. The UNCG Spartans taking the time to have a chat near the circle as the umpires continue to talk it over. First base umpire is the one that made the call, saying that Batten was pulled off the bag trying to haul in the throw. And they're going to call her out. Well, after all that, the umpires have a discussion and say that Kayla Taylor did not beat out the throw and that Batten did hold her bag or her foot on the bag, so Maxwell bailed out after that initial bobble. It's a 6-3 put out. After the first out, now Patty Redens having a chat with the umpire about it. Not pleased that that call had been overturned. And Coach Redens having a chat with the home plate umpire. That's something you usually don't see, a call overturned without the benefit of video review. And again, the confirmation that Kayla Taylor has been thrown out after the other umpires in the crew said that Batten had her foot on the bag. Though Nikki Varela will step up to the plate. Varela will dig in with the bases empty and one out. First pitch to Varela is in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. Varela, 1 for 3 on the year. Junior from Covina, California. One out, bottom of the second, 5-0 UNCG. Stiltner ready, delivers her 1-0. Hit in the air to center, backs up Mateus, camps under it, makes the catch. There's the second out. 2 quick outs for the Aggies against UNCG starter Hannah Stiltner, and Destiny Parker will now dig in. Parker's 0 for 4 for the season. She draws the start for the second game of this doubleheader, as she did in the first game. First on the way to Parker is low and outside for a ball, 1-0. Want to know the count with 2 outs. Base is empty, bottom of the second inning. 5-0 UNCG. 1-0 from Stiltner. Right down the middle for a strike, 1-1. Stiltner steps back on the plate. She gets the signs from the catcher, Cumby. 1-1. Right down the middle for a strike. 1-2 to Destiny Parker. Again, a steady rain here, but not too heavy. These teams have been able to play through it despite the less than ideal temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hannah Stiltner collects her first strikeout, and she retires. The Aggies in order. We played 2 innings. It's UNCG 5, A&T nothing. Third inning coming up after this.
The MEAC is embarking on a year-long celebration of its 50th anniversary under the banner of the theme, A Golden Past, A Glorious Future. The conference will open the year with a selection of the 50 greatest moments in MEAC history, and with a selection of all-time teams for each of the MEAC-sponsored sports, with Hall of Fame recognition and with historical fanfare to the student athletes, coaches, and administrators who have helped to mold the MEAC into the great conference that it is today. The year promises to rekindle the love fans have had for the MEAC for 5 decades. Yes, the past was golden for the MEAC, and the future promises to be glorious.
All along this bustling corridor, from Richmond to Williamsburg, to Hampton Roads, to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, one bank continues to make its presence felt and set the standard for serving its communities and local businesses, and for having the area's best bankers. One bank continues to enrich lives. Beyond banking, Town Bank. Not just a community bank, your community's bank.
Third inning here in Greensboro between UNCG and A&T. 5-0 Spartans with the lead. Head coach Patty Redenz had the Aggies out on the front of the dugout for a long chat before the warm-up tosses began. So a bit delayed as we head into this third inning. Blake Batten will lead off. She was at the plate for the second time in the previous inning, but was not able to complete her at bat as the inning ended with a throwout of Jasmine Palmer over at second base on the caught stealing 2-6. So Batten will get a turn once again to lead off the third inning. She led off the second inning with a single, part of a 5-run inning for UNCG. Tiara Richards, who tossed the final 2 outs of the inning, will step up on the pitcher's plate in relief of starter Sanaya Stinson. Stinson only going an inning and a third for A&T in this one. Giving up 5 runs on 6 hits did Stinson. And the first offering from Richards is a called strike 0-1. Batten batting .500 for the year, 6 of 12. She's a leadoff batter here in the third inning. 0-1 from Richards. Outside for a ball, count even at 1-1. On the count. As Richards takes a look at the arm and delivers the 1-1. Inside ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. Four of those 5 runs for Stinson were earned. The other an unearned run off the throwing error by Kendall McCauley in center field. 2-1 on the way. Hit to left field and deep. Fuller rushing back, watches it go over the fence for a solo home run. Blake Batten with her first home run of the season as she drills it over the left field fence, and the Spartan lead is now 6-0. Batten continues her tremendous start to the season, now batting 7 of 13. Starting things off with a leadoff homer here in the third inning. It's a 3-hit day for Batten, who had a single in our first game. Here's Brooklyn Maxwell. Maxwell, an RBI triple in the second inning. Struck the ball well down the right field line in the opposite direction. She was able to score Blake Batten on the play. Maxwell 8 for 18 on the year. And now her Spartans with a 6-0 lead. Pitch from Richards. Low for a ball, 1-0. Richards has given up 2 home runs on the day so far after allowing the round tripper to Palmer in our first game. And she starts off the count 2-0 against the batter Brooklyn Maxwell. Maxwell, the freshman. Waiting the 2-0. And here it comes from Richards. Low for a ball. 3-0 the count, as Richards is in danger of issuing another walk this afternoon. Maxwell with her first career extra base hit in that second inning with the triple. He's at the plate with a 3-0 count. The base is empty in the top of the third. 6-0 UNCG. The pitch taken all the way for a strike, 3-1. Still light rain here as the heavy stuff is held off for the most part here in the Gate City. 3-1 the count to Maxwell. Here's the pitch. This one's blooped towards right center field. That drops in for a hit. Well, Maxwell continues her terrific start to her Division I career. That's her team-high 9th hit. And Katie Stetler will step up to the plate with a runner at first and nobody out. And Coach Rodens now heads out to the home plate. I have a feeling we're going to see another change for A&T as Richards has had her struggles in the circle. And indeed that is going to be the case. So Richards is finished after not recording it out here in the third inning. Kayla Douglas, the sophomore from Charlotte, North Carolina, will step in as the third Aggie pitcher in this game. So Douglas, the new pitcher, to replace Kiera Richards, who only pitches 2/3 of an inning and is still responsible for Maxwell over at first base. It's our first look at Douglas this week as the Aggies try to get things sorted out here in the top of the third inning, trying to make sure this game doesn't get away from them. UNCG looking to pour it on, up 6-0. Runner at first and nobody out. And Douglas, the new pitcher, to replace Kiera Richards. So far for UNCG, 6 runs on 8 hits. The Aggies, no runs, no hits so far through the first 2 innings. We're in the top of the third. It's 6-0 UNCG, and Katie Stetler will be the first batter to face sophomore right-hander Kayla Douglas. Runner at first is Maxwell. Pitch from Douglas. And into the hole, short for a base hit. Aggies had their players at double play depth, so that left the hole wide open for Katie Stetler to sneak through a single that allows Maxwell to move over to second. Now runners at first and second, and nobody out for Mason Brown. Brown 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. Batting 6 of 14 for the year. Check that, 6 of 16. The pitch, low for a ball. And those are outs that you want to get if you're the Aggies, because you're going to go back to the top of the order with Delaney Cumbie on deck. A lineup that serves as a sort of murderer's row. Their opponents from the SoCon. It's a very potent lineup that has been generated through the recruitment by head coach Janelle Brenneman. It made them the favorites in the SoCon once again. Here's the 1-0. Hit in the air to center, to the right side of the infield, and it's caught. Infield fly rule was in effect, so Brown was out. Runners stay put at first and second, and now 1 out. Now here comes Delaney Cumbie. Cumbie is 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice in her previous at-bat and scored. 6-0 UNCG, the pitch. Up high for a ball, 1-0. Stetler at first, Maxwell at second, and Cumbie up to bat for a third time here in the third inning. Batting 3 for 16 this season. 1-0 in the dirt. A good catcher, a good blocker there by Varela. And a pitch that almost looked like it was bowled towards Varela. Landed about 10 feet in front of the circle on its way to the plate. Here's the 2-0. And ball 3. 3-0 to Delaney Cumbie. She has the hitter's count with McKenna Mateus on deck. Brino the count. And the pitch on the way from Douglas. High and away, ball 4. So the bases are loaded for the Spartans, something that we've seen throughout the afternoon. After the walk issued by Douglas. Cumbie at first, Stetler at second, Maxwell at third, and McKenna Mateus at the plate. Mateus is 1 for 1 with a single, a walk, and a run scored. She's batting 8 of 22 this year. No chance for UNCG to absolutely blow it open here in the third inning. Another bases loaded opportunity, this one with 1 out. One of their top hitters in the lineup in McKenna Mateus. 6-0 UNCG. Pitch from Douglas. Popped up foul behind home plate. It'll land behind the bleachers. Mateus starts off with an 0-1 count. Spartans already have a homer in this inning. It was a leadoff homer by Blake Batten. Make it a 6-0 game. Here's the 0-1. That's fouled again. Mateus aggressive to start this at bat. Couple of foul balls, and now she's behind in the count 0-2. Kaylee Willis, the designated player, on deck for UNCG. Bases loaded, 1 out, 0-2 the count, 6-0 Spartans, top of the third. The 2-strike pitch. That's a called strike 3. Nice pitch from Douglas. As McKenna Mateus froze up. Douglas gets a much-needed strikeout of the looking variety. Her first strikeout and the second out of this inning for UNCG. So that'll bring up Kaylee Willis. And threat not over yet. Willis has already driven in the run with a single. She's got home run power with 7 round trippers last year. 2 outs, bases remain loaded for the Spartans. And she swings through the first pitch, 0-1. Douglas took something off of that pitch as Willis was thinking home run. Maxwell at third, Stetler at second, Cumbie at first, and Willis at the plate with an 0-1 count and 2 outs. The pitch, up high for a ball. Count now 1-1. Bases loaded for the Spartans here in the top of the third. They lead 6-0 on A&T. One from Douglas. In the dirt, ball 2. Willis 8 for 21 in her senior season. Now has 4 RBI. After driving in the run during the 5-run second inning. She faces a 2-1 count. Douglas ready. Fires a 2-1. Swing and a miss. Count now even at 2-2. Nice looking arm motion from Douglas. Looks like it's going to come out faster than it actually does. It's caused Willis to wave in front of it a couple times. The count now even at 2-2. The pitch. That's hit in the air. Center field, not deep. McCauley tracking it back, still going back, and it's out of here. Grand slam for Kaylee Willis. That ball looked like it wasn't going to carry, but it just kept fighting through that wind. And Kaylee Willis shows off that power with UNCG's second grand slam of the afternoon. 10-0, the Spartans on top of the Aggies here in the third. With 2 outs, Kaylee Willis comes through with a grand slam over the left center field fence. Mentioned this at the top of our second game. Her parents, John and Arlene, made the trip from Virginia Beach, which they say is not a long trip to them. It's about 5 hours. And boy, it was worth it for them to see that. Their daughter hits a grand slam to give UNCG a 10-0 lead. Spartans had a grand slam in game 1. They do it again here in game 2. There's Jordan Gontram. She hit the other grand slam in that first game. She watches a pitch in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. And again, it looked like right off the bat it didn't have a chance to get out of here, but it just kept carrying. Just got enough of it to drill the home run. As Gontram fouls off the 1-0, count even at 1-1. And sometimes that's all you got to do, just make contact and find its way out of the yard, and that's what happened to Kaylee Willis. Willis' second home run of the year, and a 5 RBI game 2 for her. Gontram is 1 for 1. She drove in a run with a sac fly in her previous plate appearance. And she takes a pitch outside for a ball, 2-1. Now the Spartans have put up 5-run innings in back-to-back innings. Take a 10-0 lead. 2 balls and a strike to Jordan Gontram, the 8th Spartan batter in this third inning. She stares at the pitch low for ball 3, 3-1. Douglas trying to get out of the inning. Looking for that final out. She's ready. Her 3-1. Ground ball foul. So the count now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. As UNCG looks to sweep this doubleheader en route to another one tomorrow against A&T. A 1 o'clock start over at the UNCG softball stadium. Those games will be on the Watch ESPN app, produced by UNCG. Full count, 2 outs, and the base is empty, top of the third. The pitch. And it's popped up. Shallow right center field. And the catch is made for the final out by Deese. But the Spartans put up another crooked number. 5 runs on 4 hits. They leave nobody on. We played 2.5, UNCG 10, and A&T nothing. Back for the third after this.
In the Mideastern Athletic Conference, success for our student athletes isn't just measured by wins and losses, points on the scoreboard, or individual stats. For nearly 50 years, it's also been measured by their performance in the classroom, in the community, and ultimately, graduation. Our student athletes aren't just playing to win a single game. They're playing to win at life. Because games end, but life keeps on going. The MEAC, educating student athletes for the game of life.
It's bow time. Tick, tick, boom. Like a powder keg in your mouth. Southbound, scratch made. Not in a microwave oven, but an oven. Biscuits baked 49 steps fluffy, chicken marinated 12 hours bold, iced tea steeped 12 minutes lazy as a porch swing. Now you're talking sweet, easy Southern style. Cause when it comes to down-home cooking, it's not our first rodeo. Feed the whole family with a big Bo Box Supremes meal. It's Bo time. It's Bo time. Years from now, you'll tell your grandkids, back in my day, we could get 2 Bojangles sausage biscuits for just $2.50. And those biscuits, shoot, they were always made from scratch. And that zesty sausage, sizzling like the summer of 2033. And then your grandkids will say, but how is that different than Bojangles now? And you'll say, pipe down and eat your biscuits. Get 2 sausage biscuits for just $2.50. It's Bo time.
Well, the Aggies have a mountain to climb here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, down 10-0. Back-to-back 5-run innings for UNCG, have them up by a big margin. And it'll be Eternal Fuller that will lead things off for A&T. UNCG made a switch here at the defensive alignment. Melanie Dart is now in at third base for the Spartans to replace Mason Brown. And the first pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1 to Eternal Fuller. That was the only change I noticed out there for UNCG. Looks like everything else remains the same for Coach Brenneman Spartans. A 1 to Fuller. Right down the middle for a strike, 0-2. Eternal Fuller. 0 for 3 on the year. Appeared as a pinch hitter in the previous game. Second game in a row, the Spartans have scored 10 on A&T. 0-2, swing and a miss. Second straight strikeout for Hannah Stiltner. That's our first out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's Kendall McCauley. McCauley is 3 for 13, batting .231. Stiltner's first offering, foul. 0-1. Cold and rainy afternoon here in Greensboro, but the rain has held off just enough to the point where the field and dirt were able to take it. As the count is 0-1 to McCauley. The pitch. That's a called strike, 0-2. They part of a very busy sports weekend for the Aggies. We'll kick things off with bowling tomorrow. Spencer Turkin and Brian Holloway on the call. Cap things off with Spencer and Coach Cy Alexander for the men's basketball game at 8 o'clock. In between, we mentioned the softball game that will be played between these two at UNCG. So the 0-2 misses outside for ball 1-2. And last but not least, women's basketball at 2 o'clock. Club Corbett reopening tomorrow. The Corbett Sports Center will be hopping with up to 800. We expect that to be at full capacity, or as much capacity as we are allowed for tomorrow. 1-2 is laced in the center. That's a base hit. First hit of the afternoon in game number 2 for A&T. Belongs to Kendall McCauley. She's aboard with a 1-out single. Governor Cooper announcing earlier this week that indoor venues could open up at limited capacity. 800 is the number that will be allowed to watch tomorrow's games between A&T and Central. Always a good rivalry. And both the men's and women's basketball teams off to terrific seasons, even in the limited games that they've been able to play, especially on the women's side. So far, both programs doing a terrific job on the hardwood. Pitch on the way is low for a ball, 1-0. J.D.'s walked in her only plate appearance of this game in the first inning. 93-08 for the year. McCauley at first. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd, 10-0. UNCG with the lead. 1-0 on the way. outside for a ball. 2-0. Neglected to mention that A&T in that bowling match will be playing Norfolk State tomorrow. It'll take place over at the Triad Lanes. First of back-to-back bowling matches for the 13th ranked Aggies against Norfolk State. 2-0 on the way in the dirt. Ball 3. 3-0. Again, if I did not have other commitments, I think I'd have fought Spencer to try and broadcast that bowling match. It's something I've always wanted to do, having watched a little bit in my younger days. And the Aggies have a very good bowling program. 3-0 on the way. That's a strike down the middle, 3-1. The Aggie bowling team, 31-5 this season. They've been terrific. Runner at first is McCauley, one out, bottom of the third, 10-0. UNCG with the lead. Stiltner with the 3-1. That's a called strike. Jade East was ready to fling the bat, and she was a third of the way up the line before she was denied entry by the home plate umpire. Count now 3-2. You can see some of the Aggies in the dugout wearing their sweatshirts and zip-ups. 3-2, fouled off. Count remains full, 3-2. One out, bottom of the third, 10-0. Spartans with the lead. Here in the bottom of the third inning. Jasmine Palmer, the second base, trying to stay warm by jogging in place. McCauley at first. As Dees digs back in. Stiltner is set. Here's her payoff pitch. Popped up, foul territory, third base side. Cumbie has a look, runs out of room. It falls behind the 10, occupied by the A&T marketing staff, as well as sports information director and today's official scorer, Will Tellman. Had a nice chat with Will Tellman before the game. And even though it's been really busy for A&T and many other athletic departments due to the bigger overlap than usual due to the pandemic, he's having a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but a lot of payoff in the end when everything comes together. Again, the weekend that could have seen football here tomorrow until the MEAC opted to cancel the football season. Would have been a home game for the Aggies tomorrow. Instead, we'll have to wait to the fall when they embark in their inaugural year in the Big South Conference. Full count with one out and a runner at first in a 10-0 ball game. Payoff pitch is low, ball 4. So J.D. draws her second walk of the game. Third walk issued by Stiltner. Now runners at first and second, one out for Stephanie Williams. Williams grounded out to a 4-6-3 double play in her only at bat. Off to a 2-for-17 start this year. Rain's the heaviest it's been here so far as it continues to fall here in Greensboro. Stiltner's pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Crosstown showdown between these teams. They'll do it again tomorrow at the UNCG softball stadium. Runners at first and second for the Aggies with one out here in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 is in the dirt. Runners take off. The throw ends up in the outfield. So everyone's safe on the wild pitch by Hannah Stiltner as she practically spiked that ball into the ground. The Aggies aggressive on the base paths, hoping to scrape together some runs And now the home plate umpire was requesting a towel from the UNCG dugout. Does not have one.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
And the rain has gotten a little bit harder. He wanted a towel after the rain started picking up a little bit. And this was the heavy stuff I had mentioned during game one. And I think if it gets any heavier than this, they might consider getting the tarp out. 10-0. Spartans with the lead, bottom of the third. 2-0 the count with one out. Runners at second and third after the wild pitch. And the pitch is low again for a ball. 3-0. Stephanie Williams at the plate with the hitter's count as Hannah Stiltner is having some issues finding the strike zone. Here's the 2-0, up high ball 4. So none of those pitches particularly close. Hannah Stiltner draws, or rather issues her second walk in a row. That'll load the bases for the Aggies. One out, Alex Estrada will step up to the plate. Estrada walked in the first inning. She's batting .413 this year with 3 runs batted in. RBI opportunity here to try and salvage some of this game for A&T. They're down 10-0 in the bottom of the third. One out. A hard hit ground ball right to an infielder could end the inning. So Stiltner trying to keep the Aggies off the board here in the bottom of the third inning. Has plenty of runs spotted to her. And first pitch is a ball, 1-0. McCauley at third, Deese at second, Williams at first. And standing at home plate, Alex Estrada with a 1-0 count. One out, bottom of the third, 10-0 UNCG. The 1-0 pitch. Misses low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Stiltner working through the rain, now ready. The 2-0 from her is in the dirt. And again, these last 7 pitches from Stiltner have not come close. The count. With 1 out, the pitch. Ball 4. So the Aggies get a run in on the RBI walk from Estrada. 3 walks in a row from Hannah Stiltner. And I think Janelle Brenneman's seen enough. The coach for the Spartans steps out of the dugout. And there's also a mound visit for Tracy Lynch. Mound visit, excuse me, circle visit. Well, it took me until the second game to make that mistake here this afternoon. Now A&T's got a run on the board. As McCauley scored on the RBI walk by Alex Estrada. Deese moves over to second, Deese moves over to third, Williams to second. Now Estrada at first after the RBI walk. She has 4 runs batted in to lead the Aggies this season. And the rain getting heavier. It's the first time I've been able to hear it on the tent above me today. Umpire breaks up the circle visit as the infielders are still talking it over. And it looks like Stiltner wants a rosin bag, she'll get one. So they'll keep Stiltner out there for now, her team with a 10-1 lead. If anything, just wanted to eat up some innings. Through the rain is Samantha Ramirez, who's 0 for 1 with a fly ball out to center, steps up to the plate.
Oh, I do too.
But we have Ramirez stepping up to the plate. Ramirez 2 for 11 this season. With an RBI opportunity, she has 2 RBI this year. 1 out, bases remain loaded for the Aggies. Bottom of the third of the pitch, up high again. The Spartans have already used their visit to the circle. And again, Stiltner having issues finding the strike zone. That's 9 in a row outside of the zone. 2 straight 4-pitch walks and now a 1-0 count here to Ramirez. One-0. There's a strike on the outer half. 1-1. Rain the heaviest it's been this afternoon. A&T bench generating some energy. Trying to pep up Ramirez as she swings and lofts one into center. Catch made in shallow center by Mateus. Tag up from third. The throw is in time. What a throw by Mateus as the Aggies are out of the inning after a fly ball out to center, and Mateus is able to gun JD's at home plate. She usually has good speed, but was beaten by a great throw from Mateus. So the Aggies only get the 1 run in that inning. 1 run, 1 hit, and they leave 2 on base. We've played 3 innings. It's UNCG 10 and the Aggies 1 here in Greensboro.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's hold off on posting.
It's 5G, man. You're already trending.
5G you can afford
Oh,
for the
say it
moments
again.
you can't
I'm
afford
sorry.
to miss.
Okay. They ain't calling nothing.
No, they're still out there. I think they're going to try and get it. I don't even see anyone near the tarp yet. Yeah.
Sam was gonna call it. Yeah, I know.
Okay, no problem. Unless you want me to wrap it up right as we start in this inning. That way you guys can put it away. Is that okay, or should I just go through this inning first? All right, get through the inning. Okay. Okay. Yeah, my headpiece fell off during the half inning, so if you were trying to sell me that previous inning, I apologize. Okay. Oh, okay.
All right. So what's the?
Okay.
Okay, good.
No, it's okay.